Dear viewers, we are on to the contents of research protocol as per ICH E3 GCP 6 guidelines. In this, we saw the general information, background information, study objectives and purposes, study design, selection and withdrawal of participants, treatment of participants, and assessment of efficacy. In this particular video, we will discuss the assessment of safety, statistics, direct access to source data or documents, quality control and quality assurance, ethics, data management, financing and insurance, publication policy, and the supplementary information. So the assessment of safety. This section describes how the study will be monitored and how adverse events will be dealt with. In regards to specification of safety criteria, methods and timing for assessing, recording and analyzing the safety data, safety criteria, procedures for obtaining reports of adverse events and illnesses experienced by participants during the study period, and for recording and reporting these events, including expedited reporting procedures, type and duration of follow-up of participants who experience the adverse effects in order to ensure the safety of the product. The statistics. This section describes the strategy for analyzing the data collected during the study, including statistical methods to be employed, including the timing of any planned interim analysis, total number of participants to be enrolled. In multi-center studies, the minimum and maximum number of participants to be enrolled at each study site should be specified. Reasons for the choice of sample size, including reflections on or calculations of the power of study and clinical justification, level of significance to be used, criteria for termination of the study, procedure for accounting for missing, unused and false data, procedures for reporting deviations from the statistical plan. Any deviations from the statistical plan should be described and justified in the protocol and/or in the final report as appropriate. Selection of participants to be included in analysis. For example, all randomized participants, all dosed or treated participants, all eligible participants, all evaluable participants, per a stated definition of evaluable. Direct access to source data or documents. The sponsor should ensure that the protocol or the written agreement specifies that study investigators or institutions will permit study-related monitoring, audits, IRB review, and regulatory inspections by providing direct access to source data or documents. Quality control and quality assurance. A detailed quality assurance plan describing the set of standards, controls that are in place to confirm that the execution of each step follows the agreed upon plan is usually submitted as a separate document. The protocol should, however, provide a general description of the quality assurance methods. Ethics. This section should describe ethical considerations relating to the study and measures taken to protect human participants and maintain confidentiality of study data. Data management. A detailed data management plan describing the way study data will be gathered, documented, submitted, verified, and achieved is usually submitted as a separate document. The protocol should have, however, provide a general description of the data management activities associated with the protocol. The data management plan describes the procedures that will ensure data integrity throughout the study and at all study sites, including a description of the data system design and development, data collection methods and activities, methods of data entry and editing, procedures for data monitoring, including query resolution, reporting, and transfer. data recipients and procedures for data dissemination, financing and insurance. This section describes how the study will be financed and insured. In some research networks, these issues are addressed in a separate agreement and need not be included in the protocol. Publication policy. This section describes the policies and procedures relating to the publication of findings from the study. In some research networks, policies and guidelines are established for researchers for the publication planning process. For example, it is a common requirement for the publication on primary outcome data to preclude other publication on the study findings. Researchers should be familiar with and adhere to institutional and sponsor policies and requirements for publications. In accordance with the Food and Drug Administration Amendments Act 42 CFR, that is Code of Federal Regulation, Part 11, trial results will be also published on a public website, clinicaltrials.gov. This website will not identify participants but will provide a resource for clinical trial participants and those seeking clinical trial involvement to inform themselves. Supplements. This section supplies any additional information that may be required depending on the nature of the research. For example, the informed consent template, the therapy manual, a patient information handbook, etc. may be included as attachments. For further reading, the viewers has to go through the references given on this slide. Thank you for watching. Take care and happy e-learning.